prediction is
Correct.
correct, yeah, based on the actual result, yeah. Sorry. Maybe I will review again, yeah, last week topics. If we have two class, yeah, C1, yeah, and not C1, we have two classes here, yeah, C1 and C1, yeah. If the machine learning method, yeah, predicted that the class is C1, and in reality, yeah, based on the user export, for example, yeah, the 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 insert is classified as C1 also, yeah, the class, then it is called true positive. But if the machine learning predicted the class as not C1, yeah, but actually, yeah, that object is classified as C1 in reality, yeah, then it is called false negative. If the predicted class is C1, but the actual class is not C1, then it is called false positive. And if the predicted not C1, yeah, and the actual class is not C1, then it is true negative. So if you have two classes, yes, yeah, by computer equal yes, and by computer equal no, and the column is the predicted class, and the row is the actual class. Yeah. So we have 10,000 data, 10,000 data. 6,954, it is true positive. Yeah. 46 is false negative. 412 is false positive. 2,588 is true negative. Uh, okay, so the accuracy, yeah, the accuracy is actually the true positive, yeah, plus the true negative divided by all the data, all the data. So in this case, yeah, true positive 6,954, yeah, plus true negative 2,588 divided by all the data divided by 10,000. That is the accuracy. Yeah, the accuracy. I already explained also last week, yeah, that don't choose the accuracy as the evaluation matrix. Yeah, if your data set is not class balance, yeah. If your data set is class imbalance, yeah, then don't use accuracy, yeah, to measure the performance of your machine learning method. Yeah. Because if 90%, yeah, of the data set, yeah, 90% of the data is are classified as class A, and only 10% classified by as class B, then even if you guess randomly, yeah, so we guess that all the data have the class A, yeah, then the accuracy will be 90%. 90%, which is the good result, right? But actually, it is not the good result. Actually, it is only the random prediction. Okay, we have also the measurement called sensitivity. Sensitivity is the true positive recognition rate. Or uh, if we use the formula, the sensitivity is equal as the true positive divided by all the positive data. So the true positive, this one, divided by all the positive data. It means that true positive divided by true positive plus false negative. Sensitivity, yeah, It is also called precision. Precision. Specificity is the true negative recognition rate. So it means that specificity is the true negative divided by all the negative data. So it means that true negative divided by true negative plus false positive. Okay. Nah, yes, as I said earlier, precision actually sensitivity, true positive divided by true positive plus false positive. So it means that true positive divided by true positive plus false positive. And the recall is true positive divided by true positive plus false negative. So precision actually measures the exactness. What percent of tuples that the classifier label as positive are actually positive? But recall represent completeness. What percent of positive tuples did the classifier label as positive? Usually, if you have the methods and then you try to increase the precision value, then the recall will be lower. And vice versa, the recall will be, if you try to increase the recall, then the precision will be lower. So it is a trade-off, the trade-off between precision and recall. It is very rarely that you have the methods that can increase recall and also increase precision. It's very rare. If it is not called impossible. If you try to increase recall, usually precision become decrease. And vice versa, if precision, you try to make the precision increase, then recall will be decreased. Okay, the perfect score of precision and recall is 1, 1. So the value is between 0 and 1. Okay, because precision and recall is a trade-off, the trade-off, then it is it become biased if we measures the result by precision and recall. Why? Because if, for example, if precision is 60%, recall 40%, compare with recall precision 40% and recall 60%, which one is better? We never can decide. Precision 60%, recall 40%, with precision 40% and recall 60%. Which one is better? We don't know. Yeah. Okay, so that's why F measures is appears. What is F measures? F measure is the performance evaluation matrix that combining precision and recall. So the F measure actually we try to balance between precision and recall. So here's the formula 2 multiplied by precision multiplied by recall divided by precision plus recall. So try to combine the precision and recall. So if you have the imbalanced data set, then it is better if you measure the performance evaluation matrix by using F measure. F measure. What is the maximum value of the F measure? Anybody can answer it? Anybody? The maximum value of
Is it
F
one?
measure is
Is it
1.
one,
Yeah,
sir?
1. Yes, 1. In that the highest value of precision is 1, right? And the highest value of recall is also 1. So if precision is 1 and recall is 1, so this will be 2 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, which is 2, right? So the nominator is 2, yeah. And the denominators, yeah, precision plus recall. Precision is 1, recall is 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. So the nominator is 2 and the denominator is 2. So the result is 2 divided by 2, which is 1. Yeah. So the highest value of F measure, or sometimes it is called F1, not formula, yeah, F1, but this is the other name of F measures, F1 or F score. Anthony. Okay, F measures, yeah, try to make a balance between precision and recall. But of course, if your purpose is not for balancing precision and recall, you can use the F beta, the performance evaluation matrix F beta. What is F beta? F beta is the weighted measures of precision and recall. So instead of using the constant 2 here, so we use the formula 1 plus beta square. And in the denominators, we have the beta square. 1 plus beta square multiplied by precision multiplied by recall divided by beta squares multiplied by precision multiplied by recall. And this is called weighted measures of precision and recall. Okay, so that's all actually the performance evaluation matrix for classifier, for classifying something. Yeah? Okay, here, for example, we have the task of the machine learning to determine whether the people have cancer or not or no. Yeah. So for example, yeah, from 10,000 data training, yeah, we found that a machine learning method say that 90 people classified as yes, and actual it is yes. And predicted 210 classified as no cancers, but actually it is yes. Yeah. And okay, you can return it by yourself in the data like this. Yeah. So based on this uh, data, so you can compute the precision. Yeah. So the precision is the true positive. The true positive divided by all the predicted class as yes. Yeah. 90 divided by 90 plus 140, which is to 230. So it is 39.13%. And the recall is all the true positive divided by all data that actually have cancer. So 90 divided by 90 plus 210, which is 90 divided by 300. So it is 30%, 30%. And the accuracy is true positive plus true negative divided by all the data.
Sorry, sir.
Yes?
information from Pak Wensen to accept Miguela Barres da Costa from Timor-Leste because is don't have student email. Is don't.
Oh, want to join? You mean?
Yes, the name Barres, Miguela Barres da Costa.
Okay. We'll try to edit. Okay, admit all.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome, Indah. Yeah, okay, the sudah kursi is 90 plus the true negative is 9,560 divided by the whole data training. Yeah? This will be 96.4. Yeah, the kursi. So this is the example of imbalance data. Yeah? Imbalance data. Why it is imbalance? Yeah? Because the people that got cancer is only 300, while the people that actually not get cancer, yeah, it is 9,700. So this is one example of the imbalance data. Yeah? Imbalance data. Later we'll discuss how to handle with the imbalance data. Okay, next example regarding this, regarding the confusion matrix. So this is called the confusion matrix. Yeah?
Sarila, question, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Agung, sir.
Yes, yeah.
This evaluation metric can be used for counting search engine performance, sir?
No, search engine performance, yeah. Search engine performance, yeah, is not based on the confusion matrix, yeah, usually, yeah.
Oh.
Why? Yeah. Because search engine has its own performance evaluation matrix. Yeah. The basis is still recall and precision. The basis is still recall and precision. Yeah.
Okay.
But as I said, recall precision, yeah, cannot be used, yeah.
Yes,
Why?
sir.
Yes.
I just try, but cannot use for program, sir.
Yeah.
I only count by manual.
Yeah, no, yeah. For search engine, yeah, you cannot use the confusion matrix, yeah, because actually it is not the classifier, yeah. It is not classifier search engine. Search engine is for searching the information. But F measures, yeah, you can use the F measures. Wait a minute, the search engine that you ask, yeah, the result is rank or not?
The result?
Do you have a ranking?
Yes, sir. Ranking.
Yeah. If you have the ranking, then you have to take into the consideration the ranking. For example, like this, I will give you example. Yeah. So, for example, I have the query. We'll make it bigger. I have a query. Query means keyword. Keyword.
Yeah.
Keyword X. Okay. And then, yeah, the search engine one, for example, Google, yeah, Google, yeah. resulting in, for example, 1,000 document. 1,000 document. This rank 1, yeah. And then first of all, rank 1 is web 1, yeah. For example, rank 2 is web 6, yeah. Rank 3 is web 100, yeah, for example. Rank 4 is web 200, etc. Yeah, and returns until rank 1,000. Until rank 1,000. Example web 2, 3, 4. Yeah. The other search engine, number 2, yeah. For example, Bing, yeah. Bing, for example. Bing, yeah, in the rank 1, yeah, in the rank 1 is, for example, the rank 1 is web number 1,000. Yeah. Maybe I will just copy this one, yeah. Maybe I just write it. Yeah. Rank 2, yeah, is web number 2,000. Rank 3 is the web 3,000, for example. Yeah. Rank 4 is web 4,000, etc. Yeah, until rank 1,000. Until rank 1,000, yeah, it is web, for example, web 40,000. 40,000. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So using the same query, the same keyword X, Google returned this result from rank 1 until rank 1,000. Search engine 2, Bing, for example, return the result from rank 1 until rank 1,000 also, the same, yeah? The same. Okay. Based on the golden standard, based on the golden standard, actually, the all documents that are relevant to the keyword or query X are web 1, maybe, yeah, web 1, web 6, web 6, web 100, and web 200, for example. Yeah. Based on the golden standard, actually all documents that are relevant to the keyword or query X, this one, yeah, are web 1, web 6, web 100, and web 2000. Google, the result of Google is like this. And the result of search engine number 2 Bing, which is, maybe I will add another result here, rank 997. This is web uh, 1. Web 1, rank 998. It is web 6. Rank 99 is web number 100. Yeah. Web 100. Rank number 1000, the last one, is rank web number 200. Yeah, 200. Yeah. Like this, yeah. Understand, yeah? Answer this question. So I have a query here, keyword X. Yeah. Based on the golden standard, yeah, actually all documents that are relevant to the keyword or query X are Web 1, Web 6, Web 100, and Web 200. Based on the search engine number 1, I just give example Google. Rank 1 is Web 1, rank 2 is Web 6, rank 2 is Web 100, rank 4 is Web 200. So in rank 1, it is relevant or not? In rank 1, relevant or not?
Relevant, sir.
Relevant, yeah. Rank 2, relevant or not?
Relevant.
Relevant. Rank 3 is relevant or not?
Relevant.
Rank 4?
Same. Relevant, sir.
How about rank 5?
No, sir.
Why you know that rank 5 is not relevant?
Not in the list, sir.
Yes, yeah, it is because in the list only 4, right?
Yes.
Only 4. So ranking 4, ranking 5, and the rest will be irrelevant.
Mm.
Okay. So if we compute the precision, what will be the precision of the Google?
Precision. Wait, sir.
Precision is true positive, right? What is the true positive? 4, right? 4, right? This one. This is the positive, right?
Yes.
4 divided by
1000.
1000. Yes, that's correct. Okay, 1000. What is the result? 0
0
0.25.
oh, 0.004. Oh, sorry, 4. Yeah.
Yes.
How about the recall?
Recall.
The true positive, recall is still true positive, 4 divided by the actual relevant, yeah? The actual relevant is how many?
4.
4, right? Yeah, 4. So 4, the true positive is what, yeah? 4. 4 divided by the all actual relevant document, which is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1.
1.
Understand, yeah? The precision is 0.004 and recall is 1. Understand, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Anybody not understand? Okay, now take a look at the Bing. Search engine number 2, Bing. Bing is given also the same keyword, X, and the result is like this. Yeah, the situation is like this. In rank 997, Web 1. Web 1 is relevant or not?
Relevant, sir.
How about in rank 998?
Relevant.
Relevant. Rank 1999?
Relevant.
Relevant. Rank 1000?
Relevant, sir.
Relevant. How about rank 1? Relevant or not?
No.
Rank 2?
No.
Rank 2 relevant or not?
No.
No.
Rank
No.
no. Rank 4?
No.
No.
So we compute the precision of search engine number 2. What is the precision? Precision is the true positive,
Four.
right? How many true positive? 4, right?
4.
4 divided by
1000.
yeah, 1000. The result is 0.004.
0.04.
Now compute the recall. The recall is true positive. How many true positive?
True positive.
True
4.
positive? 4, right? This one is
4.
true positive. 4 divided by all the actual relevant document. How many all the actual relevant document?
4.
4 also, right? 4. 4 divided by 4. What is the result? 1.
One.
Okay, so if we just measures using precision recall, Google precision is 0.004, right? Bing
Yes.
precision is 0.004. The same.
Same.
Recall. Recall for Google is 1, right? And for Bing is also recall is 1. The same, right?
Yes.
So based on this precision and recall, these two search engines has the same performance.
Performance.
Same performance, right? Precision is 0.004 and recall is 1, both of them. But take a look at this. Based on your evaluation, human evaluation, you are human, right?
Yes.
Is it true that in these situations, Google and Bing has the same performance?
No, sir.
No, right?
Yes.
Which one is better?
Google.
Google, right? Why you said that Google is better?
Because the relevant in the rank, top rank, sir.
Yes,
Relevant document.
Google is better, right? Because the relevant document is on the top of the rank. But Bing, the relevant document in the lowest rank. Imagine you are the user. You use the Bing with the situation. When you open the web 1000 in rank 1, usually you open up the top rank, right? First. You open web 1000, not relevant. You open rank number 2, web 2000, not relevant. You open the web in rank number 3, web 3000, not relevant. You open the web 4000 in rank number 4, not relevant also. Will you continue to open the web until rank 1000?
No, sir.
No, right? No. Maybe after you open, you give up, the rest also will be not relevant.
Sinyal loss, sir.
Slightly in the situation, Google. Oh, sinyal loss. Okay, sorry. Oops. Sinyal loss.
Sinyal loss, sir.
The voice is not too clear, sir.
How about now? The connection is good or not?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, yeah. The connection now good.
Good, sir.
How about the others?
Good, sir.
Good,
Okay.
sir.
Good now, yeah. Good, sir.
I have question, sir,
Mm-mm.
regarding the formula of the recall. What
Mm-mm.
I see in the PowerPoint you gave
Mm-mm.
us, the formula is recall equal TP divided by TP plus Fn.
Mm-mm.
But you show us here that recall is only TP divided by TP. What is the difference, sir?
Recall, yes. Uh, yes. Recall is true positive, divided by true positive plus false negative, right?
Yes.
False negative, yeah. What is the meaning of false negative? What's the meaning? False negative. False negative means predicted not belong to class C, not belong to class C, right? Divided, false negative, yeah. Predictive not C, but actually C. Or in our cancer methods, yeah, false negative. Yes, false negative, yes. Predicted as not cancer, but actually this is cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in my wait a minute. Okay. In my in my examples, yeah. True positive equal what in here? 4, right? True positive, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now what is the in the slide here? What is the false negative? What is the false negative? False negative is predicted not cancer, but actually cancer, right? Yeah.
Cancer. Yes.
So in my case, yeah, cancer now become cancer in information retrieval or in search engine. Cancer mean now irrelevant. Not cancer mean not relevant. Yeah, cancer equal relevant. Not cancer mean not relevant. In our case, right? Because actually search engine is classifiers, binary classifiers. Only 2 results, relevant or relevant. Yeah. Okay, so in our case, yeah, true positive is 4. Now, please find the false negative. False negative is predicted, not relevant, predicted by search engine as not relevant, divided by actually actual uh, relevant, ya, actual relevant. Okay, by Bing, how many document predicted by search engine as not relevant? How many? How many? How many?
Is it 2? No.
Yeah, how many?
996.
Yeah, 96. How many? Predicted by search engine as not relevant. Predicted by search engine as not relevant, but actually relevant. Sorry. But actually relevant. This one, right? False negative. How many predicted by search engine as not relevant, but actually relevant? How many?
0, sir.
0, right? Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. The web in rank 1 until rank 1000, this is the document predicted as relevant, right? So how many predicted not relevant? How many? 0, right?
0.
Search engine will never give to you the not relevant document according to the search engine. Any search engine did like that? No, right? Every search engine try to give to you the predicted relevant document, right? Relevant web. Is that give to you predicted not relevant? No, right? So that's why it is 0 equal 0. 0. Yeah, understand all of you?
Yeah.
So, according to my slide, recall equal true positive,
Divided.
true positive, divided by what?
True positive.
Recall. Yes. True positive divided by true positive plus
False
false
negative.
Mm-mm.
False negative is 0.
Negative is 0, right? Yeah. True positive plus false
Negative.
negative. Sorry. False negative. Okay. So, equal what? How many true positive? 4.
4.
Divided by true
4.
positive 4
0.
plus
Plus 0.
0, which is actually equal 4
1.
divided by 4 equal 1. The same, right?
Oh,
Same result.
yeah.
Same result.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Understand ya, all of you? Okay.
Understand, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, wait a
Sir,
minute. Here. Wait a minute. I
uh,
haven't finished my answer. I haven't finished my answer. Partial recall is the same, right?
yes.
But based on we as the human, Google is better than Bing, right? Far, far, far better or only slightly better?
Far better, sir.
Far, far, far better, right? Because Google, put the relevant document on the top rank, in the very top rank, rank 1 until rank 4. And Bing put the relevant document in the very, very lowest rank, from rank 997 to rank 1000. Google far, far, far better. So that's why in information retrieval, in search engine, we never use precision and recall. Also, it can be applied. It can be applied, but don't, because you will get the wrong conclusion later. Just like in here, you compare Google and Bing, and you compute the performance. You do experiments using the data set, and the result of the experiment precision 0.004, recall 1, Bing and Google the same. So conclusion, Google and Bing in this situation give the similar performance, which is wrong conclusion, right? If you write a thesis like this, if you write a thesis like this, then your experiment, your thesis is not the correct thesis. So please remember, you have to choose the correct performance evaluation matrix, based on what you want to do. Don't wrongly choose the wrong performance evaluation matrix. Just like
Do you,
here.
do you any suggestion, sir? For search engine, sir? Formula.
Nah, we must use the formula that accommodate the rank. That accommodate the rank in the search engine. Accommodate the rank. Actually, what is called the this one also F measures. F measures doesn't tell anything, F measures. F measures cannot be used. Okay, so usually in the search engine, we use what is called the mean average precision. Mean average precision. What is mean average precision? You compute, compute the precision, compute the precision for all relevant document. All relevant document retrieve. Compute the precision for all relevant document retrieve. And you sum up all. And then divide it by the number of all relevant document in the golden standard. Like this. This is the performance measurements used in the information retrieval or search engine.
What do you mean with the golden standard, sir?
The golden standard means you have data set, right? Golden standard means like this. This is the golden standard. The actual, yeah. The actual relevant document. The actual golden standard. Just like in my slide. In this example, this is the this is the golden standard. 300 actually got cancer. 9,700 actually doesn't get cancer. This is the golden standard. The answer. That's all. The answer. Answer all of it. What's the golden standard?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The golden standard is the answers. The real answers. The real. What's the ideal? The actual, yeah. 300. The actual. The number of humans that got cancer. 9,700. Actually, that people doesn't get cancer. So in information retrieval or in search engine, yeah, the golden standard is all documents that are relevant to the keyword or query X, yeah, based on the human judgment, of course. Okay, yeah. So this one. Sum compute the precision for all relevant document retrieved. Divide the number of relevant in the golden standard. Okay. Oh, sorry. Compute the precision for all the relevant document retrieved at that rank. Sorry, I missed this one. At that rank. At that rank. The rank whenever the relevant document retrieved. The rank whenever the relevant document retrieved. So if the document relevant are retrieved in rank 4, you compute the precision at rank 4 only. From rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, until rank 4. If the relevant document retrieved at rank 5, then you compute the precision at that rank. So the precision after you retrieve rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, until rank 5. Okay, we apply it to our example. Here. Web 1 is relevant, right? Relevant or not, Web 1?
Relevant.
Okay, so we compute the precision at that rank. What is the precision at that rank? At rank number 1. How many true positive? How many true positive? 1, right? Yeah, 1. Divided by how many all the retrieved document at that rank? At that rank is 1, right? This will be 1. Understand, ya? Web 6 is relevant or not?
Relevant.
Okay, so we compute the precision because it's relevant. We count the precision in that rank at that rank. At that rank, how many true positive? Until rank 2, how many relevant document?
2.
True, sir.
Right? Divided by how many retrieve document by the search engine at that rank? How many?
2.
2 also, right? 2 divided by 2 is equal 1. Okay, rank 3. Web 100 relevant or not?
Yes, relevant.
Relevant, right? So we compute the precision at that time. How many true positive?
3.
3 divided by
3.
3. Yes, that's correct. Equal 1. Okay, rank 4. Web 200 relevant or not?
Yes.
So we compute the precision at that rank. At that rank. So positive in the rank
4.
divided by all the retrieve document.
4.
4 equal. How about rank 5? Relevant or not? Rank 5.
No.
So we don't compute the precision because it is not relevant. We don't compute it. How about rank 6? Relevant or not?
No.
No. So we don't compute the precision. So starting from rank 4 until rank 1000, we don't compute because it is not precision. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So what is the mean average precision? The mean average precision will be, you sum up all the precision in the relevant document. So that will be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, yeah, divided by all relevant document in the golden standard. All relevant document in the golden standard is 4. Equal 4 divided by 4 is 1. Understand all of you how to compute mean average precision? Okay, that is for Google. How about for the Bing? We call it for the Bing. It's Bing, yeah. So in rank 1, is this relevant document or not?
No.
No, right? Yeah. If it is not relevant document, we compute the precision or not?
No.
No, yeah. No, right? Because it is not relevant document. How about in rank number 2? Is it relevant document or not?
No.
If it is not, yeah, we compute the precision or not?
No.
No, right? Yeah. How about rank 3? Is it relevant document or not?
It's irrelevant.
Not relevant, right?
Yes.
Compute the precision or not?
If it's not relevant, then we don't.
No, right? Yeah, not compute relevant. So from rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4 until rank 996, because they are not relevant document, then we don't compute the precision. Now, how about rank 997? Web 1, relevant or not?
Relevant, sir.
Do we compute the precision?
Yes.
Yes, that is relevant. So precision is equal. How many true positive until rank 997? How many true positive?
1.
1. Yes, that's correct. Divided by how many retrieve document at that rank?
At 997.
Okay. How about in rank 996? Relevant or not?
Yes.
Relevant. We compute the precision, right? Precision equal. What is true positive? How many?
6.
How many true positive?
2.
True, sir.
2, right? Only web 1 and
Yes.
web 6 until this. Divided by how many retrieve document?
998.
198. In rank 999, yeah? Well, 100 is relevant or not?
Yes.
Because it's relevant, then we compute the precision, right? Equal true positive. How many true positive?
3.
3 divided by how many decimal points?
999.
999. Rank 1,000. Berapa or not?
Yes.
So we compute fraction, right? Fraction equal how many
Four.
triple 4 divided by 100 points? 1,000.
1,000.
Yeah, 1,000. Okay, now we compute this one. If you want to know the exact result, you can just use calculator, calculators. Or do you want to use calculators? Okay, I will use calculator. Okay. 1 divided by, where's the division? Yes. Divided by 997.
0.001003.
0.001 ya?
Yeah.
Biar 0.001. How about 2 divided by 998?
0.002.
0.002 ya? 0.002. How about 3 divided by 999? 0.003 ya?
0.003. Yes.
Yes. And this is, we don't have to use calculator this one ya? 0.004.
0.004.
004.
Yeah. So the mean average precision, this will be, you sum up all the precision in the relevant document, which is 0.001 plus 0.002 plus 0.003 plus 0.004 divided by
4.
all the relevant document. Yes, all the relevant document is 4. This will be around 0.009 ya. 0.009 divided by 4, which is it is around 0.01 divided by 0.0
0.00225.
0.025 yeah, like this yeah.
225. Yeah.
225.
Another. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like this yeah. Okay, now we compare.
The total is 0.010, no, 0.009.
0.00
0.010.
010.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, because 0.0.
0.009, 0.009,
The sum is 0.001.
No.
0.00225 yeah.
No, it's not. I mean the total of the 0.001 plus 0.002 till 0.004 actually equals 0.010.
Oh yes. 7 plus, oh sorry. 0.001
0.1.
yeah, 0.01 yeah.
Yes.
So this will be 0.0
0025.
yes, 0025 yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like this. Okay. 0.0025. This is the mean average precision of Bing. How about the mean average precision of Google?
1.
Wow. Mean average precision of Bing?
0.0025.
5 of 1.
The difference is very, very big, yeah? Very, very far away. Which one is better?
Google.
Google. So now the result of the performance evaluation matrix is in line with we as the human, right? We as the human said Google is better far better than Bing. And based on the performance evaluation metric, which we use the mean average precision, it is also say like that. The average mean precision of the Google is 1, but the mean average precision of Bing is 0.0025. It's very, very far away, right? The distance. Understand? So the mean average precision is the performance evaluation matrix that accommodate the rank, that consider the rank. But precision and recall doesn't consider the rank. But in fact, in search engine, rank is a very important, right? Rank is very, very important. If you put the relevant document in rank number 1, and you put the relevant document in rank number 1,000, that's very different, right? You will never can read the document in rank 1,000. Even if it is in rank 10, maybe you don't open that web. You can just see rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, enough. So use precision and recall to measure the performance of the search engine, but use the mean average precision. Be careful. Be careful when you choose the evaluation matrix. Accuracy, don't use the accuracy when the dataset is imbalanced. Etc. There are so many restrictions. There are so many things you have to consider before you choose which performance evaluation matrix that you will use. Understand all of you?
Understand, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any questions?
Question, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
In information retrieval concept,
Mm-hmm.
To calculate user query and the document retrieval, sometimes we use semantic similarity score or
Mhm.
distance score.
Hmm?
And then to determine the document relevant or not, is there a minimum score, sir, or a minimum probability?
The relevant judged by the human, you mean?
Or judged by human, sir?
Mm-mm. It has to be judged by human,
Okay, sir.
Mm-mm. For the golden standard, For the golden standard, it has to be judged by the human and by the one that searched the internet. Because the relevant and not relevant it is subjective, right? Subjective. So, for example, user A have the query X, for example. The query X, We have web A. If user A give the query X, and resulting web A, and don't web A, web X, web X. So this web X, according to the user A, relevant to the query X. But maybe by the user B, the web X is not relevant to the query X. Is it possible or not? Possible or not?
It's possible, sir.
Very, very possible, right? Very, very possible. So, for example, if you for example, search the query. So the query is for example, I want the I want the what, for example? I want the information, yeah, about what, for example? About the romance movie, yeah. Romance movie. That's what it is. I want the information about the romance movie. I want to watch it. I want to watch the romance movie. Yeah, the romance. Yeah. Anybody like romance movie? Yeah. Okay.
So you mean the example, sir?
Yeah. Example.
50 First Date maybe.
Yeah. What the title? So far simple, yeah. The result. The result is Titanic. Titanic. Like that. Titanic. Titanic is a romance movie, right? Have you watched the Titanic movie?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Long time ago.
Oh. So maybe some of you said, yes, Titanic is a romance movie, right? Understand? Romance movie, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Also tragic.
Yeah. But maybe user A said, yeah, that is not the movie that I wanted. That is not the movie that I wanted. A said it is not relevant. Why? What I want is the information about the romance movie. Titanic is not the movie that I want to watch. Why? Because it is, yes, it is romance movie, but it's not happy ending, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Happy ending, right? Sad ending, yeah. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry at the end of the movie. I want to be happy. So it's not relevant, yeah, like that. Not relevant. Jadi A said it is not relevant. Understood, yeah? Okay, now all of you said it is relevant. All of you said it is relevant. So, what is the last judgment? Titanic is relevant or not? Which one that we will what? Which one that we will take? Your opinion or user A opinion? This user A.
User A.
User A opinions.
User A opinion, right? User A opinion. Why? Because user A that's searching that movie, and not you. If user A said it is not relevant, that means that not relevant. User A means that at the beginning, maybe you can complain to user A. User A, you said that romance movie, you never mentioned about the happy ending. Why you don't mention the happy ending in your query? Yeah. I forget previously. I forget. Can we blame user A? No, right? You cannot blame user A. Understand? So the one that judge relevant or not, it has to be the user itself. Yeah, the user itself. Even there is many differences, yeah. So the one that we have to take is the user itself. Understand, all of it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, to determine the document relevant or not, we cannot judge by the similarity score, yes, sir.
No, it is predicted. Yeah, predicted.
Yes, sir,
If
because I already tried, sir, query something in the information retrieval system,
mm,
even though the similarity approach 90%, but I think the document is not relevant, sir.
so it is not relevant. It's not relevant because if relevant is measured by the uh, semantic, yeah, semantic similarity measures. Yeah. It means that predicted relevance, not the actual relevance. No, cannot. Yeah, like that. Predicted relevance. Who judge the actual relevance? That has to be the human. The human that do the that what's that has the query or the keyword. Understand? Everything done by the computers, yeah, and give the conclusion it is relevant, it means that is predicted by the computer. Understand? Just like in machine learning, every result come up from the machine learning method, it is called predicted. Can be true, can be no, can be correct, can be incorrect. Who judge it is correct or not? Yeah. The users or the reality? The reality. Okay. So in my example last week, in the cancer, for example, maybe. So remember, I have a shop. I want to know whether a customer that come to my shop is by computer or not by computer. Then I run the machine learning. So for example, if somebody come to my shop and I ask the machine learning method, yeah, oh this customer, yeah, a handsome man, yeah, the age, I put all the data about that customer, and the machine learning said that, oh, that man will buy computer, will buy computer. The machine learning said he will buy computers. It is predicted, right? It is the prediction. Who judge that the human will buy computer or not? The reality. We just wait. Yeah, we just wait. Yeah, the human. Sorry, the customer looking around the shop. Yeah, and then he go home. Before go home, buying or not. Yeah. If he actually doesn't buy the computer, then the prediction of the machine learning is incorrect. Yeah, incorrect. Yeah. Although, sir, I already used the deep learning, sir. Deep learning said he will buy computers using other methods, sir. Using the LSTM, the man will buy computer. Using all the machine learning method say that human will buy computers. But in reality, human not buying computers. Which one is correct? The whole machine learning method? No, right? Yeah. So you can say that all the machine learning method incorrectly predicting. Yeah. So all incorrect, right? Because the correct one is the reality that man just looking around in my shop and go home without buying computer. Understand all of you?
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. So
Yeah.
to calculate mean average precision
Hmm.
in predicted relevance or actual relevance, sir?
Both of them is
Possible, sir.
used, right? Both of them. Both
Both
of
of
them.
them, it's possible, sir.
Yeah, but no. This in calculations you need both of them. You need both of them. You need both of them. Here, sir. Who said that Web 1 is relevant in rank 1? Who said?
The machine.
Google, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said Web 6 is relevant? Google. So from this until this, yeah, it is predicted by Google. Predicted by Google. And this one, this is not the prediction. It's the reality. The reality is one. So when we compute the average precision, where this 4 come from? Where does 4 come from?
From humans, sir.
Yes, from the actual, right?
Yeah.
From the actual relevant. Yes. Where the 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 come from?
From machine.
From
From
the
predicted.
predicted relevant, yeah, predicted relevant, right? Like that. So this one, is predicted relevant divided by actual relevant. Both of them has to be used. It means that we have to know both of them. If you don't know the actual relevance, can we compute mean average precision?
No.
Cannot, yeah. Cannot. If we don't know predicted relevance, can we calculate the mean average precision? Can we calculate?
Cannot, sir.
Cannot, right? Yeah. So both of them are used. Understand?
Understood, sir. Thank you, sir.
You know, evaluation actually comparing the predicted relevance with the actual relevance. Comparing. It has to be the same. Predicted relevance and the actual relevance has to be the same. If it is exactly the same, then it's the ideal one. Perfect, yeah. Usually it is not the same, right? So that's why we try to calculate, yeah, how close the result with the human judgment. How close the predicted relevant with the actual relevant. Understand all of it? Any other questions? Okay, that's what that. Okay, that is the evaluation matrix, yeah, like this. Okay, next, maybe we'll give example, yeah. This one. Okay, before that, yeah, I want to this one. How to do experiments, yeah, in evaluating accuracy. Previously about the performance evaluation metric, right? Yeah. But now about how to evaluate the performance of the machine learning method, machine learning. As you know that we must have data training, right? Training data, and you have the test data, right? Training data and test data. The performance evaluation matrix must be applied to where? Training data or testing data?
Testing data.
Yes.
Testing data.
Yeah, testing data, not to the training data, no, but to the testing data. Yeah. But from a data set, how can we divide the data training, the training data, and the testing data. How can we divide? Because we must have training data and testing data. Yeah, there are several methods to do that. Yeah, several methods. The first one is called the hold-out method. The hold-out method. Okay, in the hold-out methods, give data is randomly partitioned into two independent sets. One is training set. For example, all the data set we divided into two. One as a training set, for example, 2/3, 2/3 of the data set, we use it for the data training, and 1/3 is used for the testing data. And the division is randomly. So, for example, if we have 1,000 of data, for example, I just use, for example, 800 as the training data, and 200 is the testing data. It is chosen randomly, not based on the number of document number 1 until document number 800 become training data. Starting from document number 801 until 1,000, that becomes the testing data. Cannot be like that. Cannot. Remember. Why? Because it is not random. It is based on the sequence, right? Based on the sequence. But in the machine learning, in the hold-out method, it has to be randomly chosen. Randomly chosen. Understand, all of you? Randomly chosen. And then you repeat the hold-out k times. Repeat k times. So first you divide into two data, training data and testing data. Do experiment. After come up with experiments, you do again, repeat again the experiment, but now the other set of training data and data set and testing data. The data set is still the same, but it is randomly chosen. So the result of the first experiment and the second experiment, the training data will be different from the first experiment and the second experiment. Also, the testing data will be different. The first experiment's testing data and the second experiment testing data will be different. Understand? And then after the second experiment, you do the third experiment. The third experiment, again you randomly choose. If it is randomly choose, it is impossible to have exactly the same training data, right? And the testing data, right? Impossible, right?
Yes.
Unless if it is not random. If it is random, it is impossible to have. Oh, so similar. Impossible.
And
If it is similar, it is not random. It's not random. So the K can be 10, can be 8, So just repeat, K times. And then the result will be average. So first of all, if your performance evaluation metric is accuracy, in experiment, the first experiment you calculate the accuracy, second experiment you calculate the accuracy, the third experiment you calculate the accuracy, in experiment 3, until 10 experiment you calculate 10 accuracy, and then divide it by 10. The average.
Question, sir.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, sir. How can we decide the presentation for training set and also the test set? For example, if I want to build a prediction model for spam and non-spam email.
So actually, it is not. There is no guidelines, but of course, the more training data, the accuracy will be higher.
Okay.
Every machine learning method, the more training data, the more accurate the accuracy will be. Yeah. So, first of all, 90% for training data, 10% for testing data, it's okay. Or 80% training data, 20% testing data, it's okay. Or like this, 2/3 is training data and 1/3 is testing data, it is okay. It depends. Then you adjust, yeah, you adjust. For example, I divided 70% testing data, 70% training data and 30% testing data. Oh, the course is not good. Then you increase the training data. Oh, now we use 80% training data, 20% testing data. Oh, still not good. So 90% training data, 10% testing data. Yeah. So you have to adjust.
So it is part of the experiment to adjust the percentage. Okay.
Yes.
Noted, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's why actually, yeah, in the data set, yeah, it is not enough if you divide only training data and testing data. Not enough. Not divided into two. No. You have to divide it into three, actually. Three. What is it? Training data, validation data, and testing data. What is the validation? Validation is for adjusting the parameters. Adjusting the parameters. When you adjust the parameters, don't use testing data. Send my previous example, yeah. Oh, I use 70% training data, and then 30% testing data. Oh, it's not good. So I increase the training data, become 80%, the testing data become 20%. Oh, it's not good. I increase 90% training data and 10% testing data. Oh, it's now good. Yeah. Actually, that is not the valid experiment. Not the good experiment. Don't use that approach. Don't use that approach. What is the correct one? Yeah. The correct one, yeah. You divide, yeah. You have the training data, validation data, and testing data. So, first you do experiment with training data, 70%. 70% training data, and 30% validation data. Testing data separated. Testing data separated. So if you have 1,000 data, you divide, for example, yeah, 80% for training data, 10% for validation data, and the rest 10% for testing data. Yeah. And the 10% of the testing data, you separate it. Separate. Don't use it. 10% testing data, don't use it. The one that you use for adjusting the parameter is only the training data and the validation data. So use 70%, yeah, 70% training data and 30% validation data. Oh, it's not good, yeah. Then you increase the training data become 80%, the validation data become 20%. Oh, not good, yeah. Increasing training data become 90% and validation data become 10%. Oh, no, it is good. It is good. After you convince, yeah, that the good one is 90% training data. And then use the 90% training data, the model that developed from the 90% training data, use it in testing data. That will be reported. Understand? So testing data cannot be used for adjusting the experiment. Cannot. If you do that, then you are cheating. You are cheating. Don't cheat, yeah. Don't cheating. Testing data cannot be used for adjusting the parameters. Testing data must be unknown. Yeah, unknown. The one that can be adjusted, yeah, for for adjusting parameter, adjusting what, etc. It has to be validation data, yeah. So in the machine learning research, yeah, you have to separate, you have to split the data set into three parts: data training, validation data, and testing data. Understand, Ovi?
Sir,
Yes. Go ahead.
that is for the composition, I mean for the presentation, like for the percentage of the data that we use. What about the composition, sir? Like last time you said, if we want to divide, like maybe in the or divide it into two classes. So you said it's better if we separate the data in the two almost or the same composition. For example, like the cancer and no cancer. So it's the better if it's 50% and 50%. So do we have to consider it as well, sir?
Maybe the time distribution, I think.
Yeah, that is related to imbalance data set, right? Imbalance data set, like this imbalance data set. Yes, my previous example, this imbalance data set, right? Among the 10,000 data, only 300 belong to the class cancer, and 9,700 data belong to not cancer. This is imbalance. This is not a good data training. You have to make it balance. You have to make it balance. There are so many ways, yeah. Later I will explain, yeah, how to make the data become imbalanced. Several methods, yeah. Several good methods. But later, yeah, if the time come. But now the time is what? The time is not good yet. Later in the topic of the imbalance data. But I will give the very crude example, crude method, very crude method, yeah. How the simplest way to do that? How to make it imbalance? How to make it balance? This imbalance. The quick way.
Yeah.
The quickest way.
So for now, the important thing that we should know is to get the better result, we must have a balanced data set for the training, yes, sir.
Not good result. Not good result. No.
No. The balance composition. I mean between
No,
yes
yeah.
or no.
Not a good result. Yeah. But to make your experiments become the valid experiment. To make the valid experiment. If it is imbalance, it is not the valid experiment. The result, of course, it depends on the machine learning method that we use. Okay, back again to my question. Can you suggest the quickest way how to make it balance with this imbalanced data? How?
Pre-processing.
Total.
Pre-processing it takes time.
Reduce data, sir.
Yeah?
Reduce the data, sir.
Which one did you reduce? Which one?
No cancer, sir.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct.
Changing the size, sir.
The easiest way, the quickest way, yeah. You delete all the no cancer data until it become 300. Delete until it become 300. Okay, now balance. You said. But the data set now become reduced, yeah. So your data set is become small. That's the drawback. Yeah. From 10,000 data become only 600. Yeah. Greatly reduced. You know that the machine learning methods can work well if we have enough training data, big training data. Yes, the simpler way is, so you what you throw out 9,000 and 9,000 and what 400
400.
yeah,
Yeah.
you throw out. It becomes now it's just balance. Very easy way, quick way, but not good one. Why? Because our data set is greatly reduced, become very small, like that. Understand? There are so many other good methods, not by eliminating the data. No, the data is still the same, but how to do that? You have to wait and you have to attend my class until finish if you want to know it. Matters in the topic about how to handle imbalance rate. I will explain many methods, many algorithms to do that. Yeah. Answer all of you?
Question, sir.
Yes. Go ahead.
If since the beginning we see the data set is unbalanced, can we use the PCA technique to decrease the dimension, sir?
PCA is not make the data imbalance. No, only reducing the huge amount of data. Yeah. So PCA is only selecting which attribute that most contribute to the good accuracy. Yeah. Understand? So PCA will never will never cope with the imbalance problem. Only reduce. First of all, our data training is very big. Yeah. I want to reduce it, like that. So first of all, what? Name. In last week, I give you example. Which girl that will make Devin fall in love to that girl, right? Yeah. So if the attribute is name, age, etc., name. According to Devin, name is not one of the factors that can make Devin fall in love. So by doing PCA, so name will automatically drop. It will be dropped because name doesn't contribute to the result. Like that, PCA is for reducing the dimension of the data, not handling the balanced data. No.
Okay, last question, sir. Sorry.
Yes.
If since the beginning we see that the data is not balanced, once is more dominant or more highest the amount, so we can guess the pattern that the highest number is more has a strong impact or relation with the data set. I mean, if the data set is not balanced, so since the beginning we can guess the hidden pattern, sir.
Cannot, right? Yeah, cannot.
Also, we still have to do a process of machine learning to find the okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I think it's already 15 past 8. So maybe we'll finish the class. But before that, maybe I will check the attendance list for today's class. So wait a minute. This one is